guys, and welcome to the Sunderland vs Coventry match preview. So Sunderland do head into the weekend this weekend, welcoming Coventry at the Stadium of Light, which should be a very, very interesting game. There's quite a few things sort of semi-stacking against us, sort of superstitious things. So Rodgers has just won yet another Manager of the Month award, so congratulations to him. It is thoroughly deserved, absolutely, but usually we do come up with a bit of a... It's a bit of a jinx, isn't it, when any of our managers in the past have got a Manager of the Month award, we end up going on a torrid run afterwards or something like that. But Rodgers has managed to keep us on the sort of straight and narrow somewhat, hasn't he? But also, which doesn't help, is Coventry have just sacked manager Mark Robins. Now, some people look at that as, okay, it is a great time to catch them, but there's also the other side where the players have that sort of manager bounce type thing, you know, whether they get a new manager in time or not for tomorrow, I'm not too sure. However, these players might have a bit of a bounce, you know, since Robins is gone. They might think, oh shit, you know, we're sad he's gone, or we're going to fight now, or it could just be an extra sort of oomph about these Coventry players. So there's just a couple of things there that are stacked against us a little bit, albeit sort of superstitious things. But the sort of manager bounce for me is absolutely a real thing. So we really don't know what kind of Coventry City we're going to come up against, and Coventry have been a little bit of a bogey side anyway. We very, very rarely win against Coventry, so it's going to be a tough test, but it'll also be unbelievably perfect and ideal to go into yet another international break on a high and top of the league, and against Coventry as well. It really would be fantastic. Now, before we go much further, I just want to say, the previous video, I know it was largely negative, but I did just want to remind some people, a lot of people agreed actually, and I did think once I posted it, once you uploaded it, I thought that might have been a bit harsh because I was very, very critical. But to be fair, a lot of people did agree, like 95% did, but another sort of 5% was just saying I'm harsh and I've got a short-term memory and stuff. But, you know, these reviews that I do, they are by a game-by-game basis. If we played 5 games in a row, won all of them 7-0, I would tell you how well we have played within those each of those games individually. And then if we went and lost the next game or drew the next game and played poorly, I will tell you, just because we played well leading into that game, I'm not going to say everything was great when what I saw wasn't. I'm just not a liar. Do you know what I mean? I'm just going to tell you my opinion of what I saw at the time. It's always a game-by-game basis. Of course, everyone has a different opinion, but I thought we were just very, very poor on Preston. Against Preston. Even if we won, I would have had the exact same review. Maybe slightly more uplifting because we got the 3 points, but the performance in itself was still very, very poor and well below standard. Luke O'Nien, straight after the game, came out and said, you know, when he was asked if he was happy with the point, he actually said, you know, we didn't deserve it. We didn't deserve the point, and we're disappointed that we're poor, that we're that poor in terms of performance. So if he comes out and says it, and Rodgers has said it in the pre-match presser today, he was saying that a lot of the players were very disappointed and frustrated in the performance that they put in. So it's not like I'm coming out and lying to you guys or saying everything's shit. I'm not saying everything's shit. I'm saying that game and that performance, there was a lot of shit things about it. Do you know what I mean? That's it. But either way, I'm not going to get too carried away with that. But yeah, looking at Coventry. So Coventry, it's a very difficult one at the moment. I say this every match review or preview, should I say, because they are all difficult games. They have just, you know, lost manager, or they've got rid of the manager Mark Robins, which I was very surprised with. I know there's been a very indifferent start to the season, but it's been now, 6-7 years. It's taken Coventry to Wembley, 3-4 times. It's been largely a very successful spell with them, and he's brought them up through the leagues. And I've seen a lot of Coventry fans are not happy with this at all, and I don't really blame them. I know that Coventry in recent seasons, they have been really going for it towards the sort of top end, and this season has been a little bit up and down. I think they're sat in 17th at the moment. There was a phase, I think it was from September onwards, there was like a sort of 4 or 5 game phase where they lost 4 games in a row or something like that, or they didn't win 6 or 7 games. But recently, the last time out, they lost to Derby 2-1. Then prior to that, they get 2 very, very big wins against like Luton, you know, and teams like that. And, you know, they battered Borough 3-0, albeit they had 10 men, as did Luton, but still, they're still big wins against big sides. So they absolutely have their personnel there capable of grafting wins and playing well. But yeah, so it really did surprise me. I'm sure any Coventry fans in the comments, they can let me know how they feel. But I was very surprised to see that. So I just have no idea what Coventry City side we're going to see. Are we going to see a side that are almost remorseful, pissed off and umped up, you know, got really sort of motivated to play, to almost sort of redeem their old manager? Or is it going to be a side that are going to be pissed off, deflated because of what's happened, and then they're going to feel like, oh, it's my fault, it's our fault, which essentially it is to a degree. So who we're going to come up against, your guess is as good as mine. It's going to be a difficult one. They do have the players there, Rodoni, I've been a big fan of for a good few years now, back when we played him in League One. Very, very, I think was he playing for Wimbledon at the time? He stuck out like a sore thumb. I think he's an outstanding player. Sims, I think he's injured at the minute, but hit and miss. But of course, former Sunderland man there. Adji Wright, he's dangerous. I think 6 goals he scored. So they have plenty of players there. There's plenty of good players sprinkled across that Coventry side. So there's a lot to be wary of. We've played teams in the last couple of games who are in the sort of bottom 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever it is. And we've struggled, so we really need to book our own ideas up and implement our own game plan. I don't want us to, particularly at home, I don't want us to play the way we have recently in terms of setting out. Usually I'll open a few games a season. The second the kickoff goes, bang, we're in the face with triangles, with the press everywhere. And I know you can't do that all game, but we're not doing it at all recently. And it has been quite a frustrating watch and quite a drab watch. And one thing you can't accuse this team of for the most part this season has been boring, and it has been a very ugly watch in recent games. If we manage to just graft out the odd 3 points now, I can't really complain, but when I feel like we're scraping by and actually being very lucky to come away with anything and playing poorly, that's when we need to try and get on top of it, and I think this is a very good opportunity to do so. So going into this game, it will be my preferred 11. I think it's pretty much the only 11 you can really go for at the minute. With Moore in goal. Patterson is apparently still injured, so Moore will go in goal against his former side. And to be fair, he's had 3 games, 3 clean sheets. Even if Pato was fully fit, I wouldn't really want Moore to be moved. I think it would be insanely unfair. Now, the back four there, you got Sirkin, O'Nien, Mepham and Trey Hume, the sort of obvious four there. However, if anyone's picked up a knock or whatever, we might see the return of Ballard, but I don't think there has been a knock. We might see, he might want to rotate it and change it since playing on Wednesday, of course. Now, in the middle, there's not really much we can do. We've got Brown, Dan Neil and Rigg. Brown and Neil had really, really poor games, but there's not against Preston, but there's not really too much we can do. We don't have too much option in terms of rotation at the moment. To be fair, he was brave enough to give Watson his debut and started Connolly for the first time the other night as well. So it might end up sticking Alexic in there or something, but I can't see it. I think this is the sort of, without Job, of course, who's just been called up to the England under-21, so congratulations to him, thoroughly deserved. But Job, of course, is suspended. Throw Job in there, and that's kind of our best 11, and now we're more suited and more confident. I'm more confident in this 11. Now, we do need to start integrating other players, because other players are going to get knocks, they're going to get suspensions like Job has. That's going to happen, so we do need to start integrating other players, but just not in the way that Rodgers did it the other night in terms of changing the entire front three and just throwing inexperience at the entire front three. And it was just a bit of a mess. It was just too much tinkering for me, that. But just the odd one here and there, like maybe start Watson on the left and instead of Mundle, maybe that, or bring him on in the second half, or on the right hand side you can maybe pull Mayenda or someone, what I mean? Just play around with it a little bit, or Isidore for a minute. As much as I love to see Isidore down the middle, just little tinkers here and there, and then, like I say, Alexis in the middle somewhere. We do need to start integrating, because it's going to get stale very, very soon, and I feel like that's the way it's kind of semi-heading, and I don't want that. But this is probably my preferred 11. Again, there's not too much tinkering that I've done myself, but this is the one I'd be most confident with going into the game on Saturday. Now, for my prediction for the game, I think this is more of a hopeful prediction as to what I actually believe is going to happen. But I'm going to go for a 3-0 Sunderland win. I think Isidore's going to get a couple, and I think Roberts. I keep on going for Roberts when I'm doing my bets at the minute, but he's just not doing anything, is he? But I'll go for an Isidore double and then a Roberts goal. Make it 3-0. Coventry are going to come up here, or up to the Stadium Light, and I don't know whether, again, they don't know whether they're going to be downbeat or they're going to be motivated and amped to really try and redeem their ex-manager or what have you, or trying to prove a point, or they could come with their heads down and we just smash them before we go into the international break, which would be absolutely ideal for us. So I'm going to go for a 3-0 Sunderland win. So that is everything, guys. Let me know in the comments down below what you think is going to happen tomorrow. The review to the game, it might be a bit late. Sorry, this has happened a couple of times recently, but just with work and what have you, I don't know. I'm going to be able to get a review out until maybe late Sunday. It might even be late. I don't know. We'll have to see whether I can get a review out anyway. It's just whether I get the time. But that is the preview. Let me know again how you think the game is going to go and whether you agree with me, disagree with me, who would you play? Let me know in the comments. But if you've enjoyed, smash the like button because Sunderland is still top of the league. So you guys have to keep hitting the like button. You're contractually obliged. You know this. But either way, take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Stay jammy.